Up next, reporter Elisha Carter and a crew accompany a Bosse International Baccalaureate biology class as they tour Indiana's newest show cave, Indiana Caverns, located near Corydon, Indiana.
Hi, I'm Elisha Carter, and I'm here with Sarah at Indiana Caverns. She's the guidance. Can you tell us a bit about the Indiana Caverns and how it came about?
Indiana Caverns wouldn't exist today without the dedication, hard work of the cavers. The Indiana Speleological Survey. It was a few of the ISS cavers who discovered the Indiana Cavern section in 2010. The Binkley Cave system was first explored around 1940s. 1967 is when the Indiana Speleological Survey came about, and they started the exploration and surveying of the Binkley Cave system as a whole. As of today, the Binkley Cave system is about 42.5 miles long. It's the longest cave in the state, the 7th longest cave in the country, and the ISS is still responsible today for the exploration, surveying, and furthering of the cave. So it grows every day.
Could any of the 4 trails on the Indiana Cave possibly be connected?
No, of the 4 show caves open in Indiana, none of them are connected. Caves normally don't pass underneath active streams. Like, for example, between Binkley Cave and Squire Boone Caverns, you have Buck Creek running between them. At Marengo and Binkley Cave, you have Blue River and Indian Creek running through. So caves normally don't pass underneath active streams like that.
Hold on. What kind of animals utilized the cave during and after the Ice Age?
Well, during the Ice Age, throughout Indiana Caverns, you can find thousands of Ice Age animal bones. So far, we've identified a bison, a Pleistocene black bear, hundreds of flat-headed peccary, fishers, bats. There used to be a lot of bats that lived in the cave during that time. Barred owl, passenger pigeons, raccoons, voles, and shrews, and they've only just scratched the surface. There's still a lot more left to discover. As for today, the types of creatures you find in the cave, you won't find any bats down there anymore, because now the closest natural entrance a few miles away. The bats like to stay closer to the entrances. So now the kinds of animals you see down there are the cave salamanders, crawdads, cave crickets, little bitty millipedes, cave millipedes. In the lower levels, where the main river is, you can find the blind cavefish. A lot of people don't think of caves as having a lot of things living down there, but there's all kinds of different animals that use the cave.
And what are some of the things that can be seen during the tour of the Indiana Caverns?
During the tour, as soon as you walk in, you're staying on top of the tower overlooking Big Bone Mountain, this huge passageway. That's where you'll see all the pristine formations, 4-story waterfall. As you make your way through Big Bone Mountain, you start seeing all the Ice Age bones, fossils, footprints, claw marks. And then, of course, further down you go, you get the boat ride. And if you're lucky, you have a chance to see some of those crawdads and salamanders in the stream.
And what made you decide to become a tour guide?
It actually started in elementary school. I was the weird kid on the playground digging up rocks and fossils and taking them back home. I was always interested in geology. We went on a field trip to different caves nearby, and I knew then that I always wanted to work in a cave and explore the caves around here. I got my bachelor's degree in geology just a few years ago and plan on working towards my master's here soon.
Do you have time to give our group a tour of the cave?
Yeah. But what I wanted to show you all in the entrance, this is still part of the man-made entrance right through here. If you look right above you, where my flashlight is, you can see where one of the drill bits got stuck in the rock when they were drilling and blasting. Okay, so 2012 is when they started development. In 2013, we finally opened. So it hasn't been stuck up there all that long, but they finally had to make the decision to cut it off and leave it there. So it's still stuck pretty good. But then you also have all these neat formations growing around you. And the formations, they start with the same process, the rainwater, carbonic acid. As it comes through the rock, it picks up a lot of minerals. So it finally drips down into the open cave here, deposits all those minerals. But it depends on how that water enters the cave is what kind of formations you're going to get. Okay, so like the ones hanging down from the ceiling, those are the stalactites, cling tightly to the ceiling. The ones growing up from the floor, those are the stalagmites. They might reach the ceiling. Okay, so that's one way to remember the difference. They're both formed from the dripping water. There's our waterfall, nearly 4 stories tall. All this water keeps on flowing down into the lower levels of the cave where the main river is now. So all this water keeps on moving. And you probably will get dripped on throughout the tour today, especially with all the rain we got yesterday. But when the water does drip on you, it's called a cave kiss. It's supposed to be good luck. Now, as we make our way past the waterfall, we'll come up to our first set of Ice Age bones. And those bones down there, it's almost a complete skeleton, almost. But they are from a subadult Ice Age bison. So subadult meaning it wasn't quite full grown, so it's basically like a teenage bison. Now that skull is from our Pleistocene black bear. So an Ice Age black bear. The black bear, they have done radiocarbon dating on it, so for the bear we know it's about 41,000 years old. Okay, all of our bones and fossils that they've dated, they've estimated them all together to be about 38 to 42,000 years old. So you can see we finally met up with the little stream. Okay, we're going to follow this upstream all the way to the boats. The water is a little cloudy today from all the rain we got the other day, but every once in a while you can find the modern day cave creatures swimming around. Usually the things we see are the cave crawdads and the little baby cave salamanders. So like I said, it is a little cloudy, but we'll keep an eye out, just in case. Now, it does feel colder when you're on the boat, because for one, we're not moving. You got the air from the boat coming through. The seats are cold. My side of the boat, watch out for this rock here.
So what I found interesting about this cave adventure expedition was sort of going on the boat and raft. There's sort of like an underground river and stream. And that was really interesting because you never really think about there being an underground river, and especially in a cave. So that was really interesting, and seeing all the stalactites and stalagmites and sort of having to not necessarily crawl but to crouch down, it was interesting and made it feel more like an adventure rather than a field trip.
There is a lot to see and do at Indiana's newest show cave. In addition to the standard cave tour, there is a gemstone mining, a cave simulator for kids, and a walking path. If you're a bit more on the adventurous side, there is even a special tour called the Deep Darkness, where you climb, crawl, and splash your way in a canoe as you explore the cavern beyond the standard group tour.